Sandro Cataldo joins me now, and you're a partner at EY, so giving strategic advice, looking at the M&A sector, looking at the money, how to fund transition that is systemic, that is transformational. You talked to the panel today about funding. You're also a farmer, so you share your expertise and the viewpoint that you gave, the voice in the forum today from you.
Absolutely. Look, as farmers, we need to actually incur a number of expenses to actually get onto that journey to regenerative agriculture. Of course, we need to buy new machinery to allow for new practices. We also need to build the knowledge that is required to be able to transform the practices we've been using until now. And we have to accept that we're going to lose yields, not only in the short term as the soils transform themselves, but also in the long term as well. And this is a loss of income directly that many farmers cannot afford under the current situations. So the key question is, who's going to pay for this? And there was actually a lady in the audience from Denmark who actually asked that question. And the reality is the farmers do not have the funds or the money to do that. The consumers cannot afford it. We need to provide affordable foods to the consumers. Governments are pretty much in a bad situation as well. And the private sector has to deliver on their promises of profitability as well. So we discussed this at length at COP28, and what we found out is that actually farmers and the soils that they have can become part of the solution, because soils can actually act as potent carbon sinks. And therefore, by being able to sequester carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and storing it into soils through soil organic carbon and soil organic matter, we can actually help farmers issue carbon credits, which is a new source of income. They can also help with transition. Or we can help monetize their potential as well through advanced financial instruments as well. This is where it becomes clear we need a multi-stakeholder and systemic approach to solving the problem. We need the industry, the farmers, the financial institutions, and the governments to come together to actually help us drive that change.
It's such a different conversation, isn't it, to looking at, for example, the policymakers, the money, the CAP, for example, just looking at scale and increasing yield. We've got to look at fairness within the system, and that's the voice of the farmers. And one thing is looking at those large-scale farms and those smallholders and looking for equitable transition there.
Absolutely. You actually raise a very important point here. We cannot put all the farms into the same basket. In particular in Europe, yes, we do have some large-scale operational operations that are able to perform at the same level or even better than some of our competitors around the world. But the reality of Europe is a Europe of smallholder farmers, and we cannot leave the smallholders behind. The solutions need to be actually customized to the two situations. My belief is that smallholder farmers need to be supported by the industry as well to be able to transform their products into premium products, because that's the only way they're going to be able to cover the additional costs that come from smallholder farming as well, and less efficient farming in that sense. While larger farms need to be given the support to be able to innovate and really climb up on that performance league as well, while at the same time growing more with less sustainably.
Thank you so much. It's a complicated conversation, but you enjoyed the forum today, very briefly.
I think this is a fantastic forum where we're bringing together the industry, we're bringing together the policymakers, we're bringing together the financial institutions, the farmers and the food processors. These are the right people to really take charge and come with the solutions that we need to something that's really urgent for us now.
And have that open dialogue. Yes,
Absolutely.
Thank you for expressing the urgency as well. Sandro Cataldo, thanks very much for being at the forum today.
Thank you for having me here.